So I've decided to continue this experiment or series or whatever the hell I'm going to really call this. Vlog, whatever the hell it is actually. I've gone with the idea of calling I'm okay. And it's now the second, whatever the hell you want to call it, part, episodes, volume, whatever. So I'm actually uploading the first part right now, so that's scary. First part, I looked into explaining how I've come about being, not come about, but how I became depressed. Sorry, I'm actually just trying to get my C in the right position. That's about good. It's hard to sort of sum up depression in a whole, but I was sharing how I came about with my history of where I was, where I got to, how it happened, how I'm still about. And I'm praying that this is actually going to help somebody or have a positive outcome, not a negative one. But today I really want to talk about the negative, like what it's like when it happens and how I feel personally from it. Because everyone's different. I've got one of my closest friends who suffers from it from time to time, and when he gets hit, he silences up and doesn't talk about it and all that. But I'm opposite. I do something completely different. And this is now the second week of Christmas, so also coming up to near enough the 1 year anniversary of my channel. Yay! But this is like in January I'm uploading this. It's hard to talk about depression, like I said, it's so taboo to people sometimes, or it's one of those things that people find themselves having to go talk about, like, are you okay? Are you fine? Is this good? Is it good? Is it great? Are you fine? Are you sure? Are you sure? Do you want medicine? Do you want to... You get those two different sides of the scale. Sometimes you get the middle, just going, are you okay? Are you sure? Fine, dumb. But it's so hard to talk about for me because I suffer from it, I deal with it, and the ones around me I have to watch try and bolster me or make me feel better or worry about my personal health. And yeah, over November my health suffered horribly. My mentality went out the window. My attendance at work suffered. Even my work suffered. Meanwhile, everyone's like screaming about cop and all on Facebook and YouTube and all that. And I'm just like, I just don't care. What happens, happens. But this week I suffered lapse, instant. Now this is gonna sound so trivial to people, like, oh, what did he like trip and fall, or did he suffer a mental snap or something like that? No, I suffered an instant where several things happened and my depression kicked in and decided it was the day it's going to take the piss. And depression doesn't go by a script. It doesn't have a time. You can't predict it. It's like anything in this world. Nothing is guaranteed. You could have the perfect, wonderful day, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're back to being down, sad. It could be sunshine, rainbows, hot tropical weather. Flipping, you won the lottery. You flipping done cartwheels down the street. But just that one small thing, and doof, that's it. You're back to being like, what the hell's the point? It's like this video. It's completely unscripted. I don't have a script. I'm not reading a script off a laptop. I'm not looking around or looking on my board going, well, that's something I need to do. I can't. As a bastard, because being dyslexic is practice, trying to explain this to you is super difficult. Because my mouth engages faster than my actual brain does, and it's like my depression. That engages faster than my brain does. But I'll get back to the point. This week I suffered a little lapse because I was in work. It was a very good day. It was a brilliant day. And wearing a festive jumper, and I didn't have one. I don't actually own a festive jumper, but one of my colleagues turned around and went, "You're getting one. Go pay £2 as well because it's for charity." I actually threw all my tips of that day into that charity. Perfect day. I felt stunning. I felt top of the world. I thought, nothing can get me down. Karma's great. Of course, I had a fucking Rudolph jumper and I had bells on. I'm ding-a-ling-a-ling. I'm making people laugh. I'm making people cry. One of my managers actually had a headband with a big present on it, and she was like, "Oh, it's hurting my ears. Put it on my head, and I'll walk around all day going, I found my Christmas spirit." I don't know why I went so American with that, but hey ho. I was on top of the world. And then 4 o'clock, we had to usher people out of our room because I work in hospitality. We're trying to change rooms around for other events that we happening either that night or just because people have X time in a room. And we ushered these people out. Now, they were very merry, is the word I'm going to use for it. A lot of them were very happy. And they decided to go into the lounge, which they're free to do, and continue their drinking, which they're free to do. They were cut off eventually because they were getting a wee bit too loud and merry, and were playing the piano and only knew one song and only one portion of it. So that was annoying. To which, I was looking forward to finishing. It's coming up close to finishing time because we turned around the rooms and it's going on 6 o'clock. I'm like, yay, 5:30, yay. Go down to the conservative. Boss says, I just need to stay for another half an hour. Then you can go and do whatever. You've done well today. You've been a team. You've been a trooper. You're ace. Awesome. So I'm sitting down there, plate. I go and give to a guy on his table, and there you go. Whatever it was, I think it was Colonel Skink. Really good soup. I was like, yeah, there you go. Get back. Now, my other half, my fiance Christine, was working the bar. Now, from where I am, the bar is, I don't know feet, but it's quite a distance over a lounge. And I can't see anything apart from the glass of the bar and the back of the bar, with the bar itself. And I'm hearing, and then all I hear is this awful noise. And my blood runs so cold. My hairs are standing on end. The color drains from me, and I am feeling like, oh God, what just happened? And I'm praying to every deity, God, Abraham, whoever up there or down there. And I'm like, for God's sake, don't let that be her. Don't let that be her. Because Christine suffers from idiopathic epilepsy. Because there's two. Her mum suffers from grand mal, and so does her brother. But she suffers from idiopathic, which instead of grand mal being, I think, set off by a certain thing, idiopathic is sporadic, which is quite a fun wordplay. And of course, my whole mood just snaps like that, and I am not in the mood for playing games. I'm not in the mood for talking to people. I am not in the mood for helping or being anyone's pal. Because I've gone into I have to act mode, and I peg it as fast as I can right up to the bar. And thankfully, touch wood, it wasn't her. It was an unfortunate incident where it was a guest who was once again one of the merry ones. She had fallen, but she had bumped her head. Well, I said bumped her head. It was one of these foot poles we had at the bottom, and she just face planted the end part, not like the middle, the holding joints or anything like that. No, she got the very end of it, clipped her face. Not going into much more detail about it, but there was there was first aiders on the scene, padding, and then we had to get the paramedics and all that. But meanwhile, we had all her friends who were merry and happy, all worried now, bum rushing the bar. Now, I had to get in the middle of this and tell people to get back as firmly as I could. Now, I'm not an aggressive person, I don't think. And I don't think I'm a very loud or very positive person when I'm trying to get things done. And it's make or break moments. However, me yelling at these women just to get back and give the first aiders space, let our staff deal with this and get on top of this. And lo and behold, some of them were very, very drunk. And one of them was super aggressive, to the point where on the way she had kicked off her shoes. And I was like, what are you doing, love? Are you going to get ready for a fight? It looks like she was as well. To which I then told her to get back and pick up her shoes and go and sit down. And she's in my face, roaring, pointing, telling me I don't know what, and they don't know what they're doing. She's a paramedic herself, and she's not really. She's 4 sheets to the wind, half the point. And she's in my face, pointing right in my face. And I literally said, I had to look her right in the face and say, if you do not get back and you do not go sit down, we will remove you. That started the whole worst part of it, where she started getting in my face even more about it. And then I turned to one of her friends who was trying to reason with her and said, if she does not remove herself, we will remove her for herself. Or words to that effect, we will remove her, etc. So they all bugger off back to their seats, and there's me. I'm just sitting there. Just expressionless, wise as sheet. My boss is trying his best, trying to look around, do his excitement. The first aiders are doing their thing. The whole scenario eventually bubbles down to they got her out. And my other half, who's got baggage herself about, oh, she's gonna fucking kill me if she ever fucking sees this. Her dad actually died by falling down the stairs. And it was the noise that got her, of the wifey falling and her dad hitting the bottom of the stairs years ago. He was, well, that triggered off memories for her, and she was wise as she, and just, I had never seen her that quiet, and I was like trying to pick her up, but I was trying to pick myself up at the same time. I keep trying to say short and low of the story. Anyway, I finish them, go away, and I'm still so high. I'm still so like adrenaline rushing. My anxiety as well is kicking. I'm like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in that scenario. I don't like that scenario. I hate that scenario. I hate people drinking that. And thousands of different thoughts are rushing through my goddamn head, and I'm trying to think, oh my god. Now I've got to drive down to the post office, and this is like way over to, if anyone lives in Inverness or knows Inverness, it's Seafield Road, which is out by a football stadium through an industrial estate. That's like 3 miles from where my work is. I've then got to drive from the industrial estate into the town centre to go to Lear & Games, my locals, and pick up product, which, like cards and all that, which I had ordered and was finally in. And I decided to switch around. I went to Illyrian first, which, not a good idea, because I was still like, oh god, oh god, oh god. And my mind was going, Jesus, it wasn't your fault, but you could have handled this better. That you could have been a better person. You could have been sympathetic. You could have been anything. And my brain was literally not shutting the hell up. And I'm going past like giant groups, because it's party season. People are like, yeah, it's party, let's go and get booze. And I'm passing giant groups, having piss, and one crossing roads and all that. I'm getting more wound up and angry by the second. I don't run in, I actually park outside the shop. I walk in as fast as I can, walk up the stairs, see my friend Ryan, aka Toast, who's honestly a fucking trooper, Luke and all that, which they've had some good time today, and Luke pulled himself one of the most expensive cars. He's like, yeah, and it's one he really wanted. I was like, Alistair, look, and I was like, yeah. Picked the decks off Toast and walked out the stairs, and Toast's like, Alistair, breathe, are you fine? And he's like, I was like, yeah, just gotta go. And walked downstairs, but I actually turned myself around, luckily. Walked upstairs, hugged Luke, says, it'll be fine, I'll explain everything later. Walked out, I didn't even acknowledge anything else. And I got in the car, drove all the way to state, got my mail. I was still in the post office, got home, came up to the room. I sat here for about 20-30 minutes, just not saying anything, in pure silence. And I was like, and my brain would not shut off. My brain could not shut off. It was like, you need to learn to talk to people. You need to stop being an asshole to people. Like, that woman getting in your face, she was drunk, yeah, but you didn't have to be like that, etc. and all that. And probably, that's probably one of the things that is my fault. But the more I was thinking about it, the more I was going in circles, the more I was blaming myself. Then I was not blaming myself for what happened, but blaming myself for not being able to handle things barely, etc. And then effectively started nipping at other things that weren't even related to it. It was like, oh, but remember that time you never handled it well with X, Y, and Z? By the way, that was your fault, but that was related to how your personality. And that's the worst part about having days like that, where your brain will pick one thing, multi-link it to other things that aren't even related to it, and make you feel fucking shit about it. And that's the worst part. I sat here in silence for 20-30 minutes, hating myself, picking fault on myself for something that I had no part in, and tried my best to help the people who were trying to resolve it. Blaming myself, I didn't do a damn thing. All I was being a bit of a trying to be a hero and trying to be helpful even though I wasn't, etc. And I was like, oh. And I just remember curling up and going to sleep for several hours. I didn't eat that night until late on. And I went to sleep again. And I don't remember the missus coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning because she was on the bar, so she didn't come home till closing time. I don't remember any of that. I woke up the next day and I still felt pretty shit about everything that happened and myself, but I had to get over it. And thank God I got people who I work with because they picked me up. They pick me up. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they just wind me the hell up. It's hard to... I know that's a long scenario of stuff, but by that one instant, it triggered off so much. Depression can link into other forms of other stuff, like anxiety. Like, I don't suffer from that. I'm gonna put my hands up. I don't have anxiety. However, I suffered from it from being highly stressed at that point and not wanting to deal with any of that again. I suffered from feeling so bad about it. I suffered from... It's hard to even explain how. I call it anxiety, but I don't know what the hell it really is. But it was linked to my feeling like crap and feeling down about stuff. I was like, fucking... But yeah, it was just... It's one of those things that happens. And it's hard for... Like, if a person suffers from this, it's hard for others to look on the outside and try and help that person, because maybe that person doesn't want help. Maybe that person... Oh God, I need to tighten that. Maybe that person just wants to sit there and feel bad for a while. But the important part about that is making sure that they get better eventually. That making sure that they feel fine after a while. It's not about remedying it instantaneously, because that person's not going to want to feel fine instantly. Christ almighty. Thank God Christine is my rock and is my world. Because she has stuck by me through a lot of crap. Now, everything that happened in November, when I came around to the funeral and all that, I was smiling away and trying to be positive for everyone. Christine was worried about me. She was like, I've never seen you that calm and that controlled. Like, you're so silent, you're not talking about stuff, and you're just passing off. Are you sure you're not depressed and trying to play us? I was like, no. And because she's seen me passing things off. Like, I've sat in my locals one day, absolutely. And that's other stuff that's happened in the past, but other events had happened then. And it had severely depressed me and made me not want to really be there, etc. and all that. But Christine sat me down there and just like, you're gonna have fun here playing. And I just sat there for like several hours just going, don't want to fucking be here, don't care who's talking to me, don't... But thank God she pursued, because that's the thing. Even if they put themselves in a goddamn hole, doesn't matter who it is with a depression problem, if you're in a hole, I hope you have friends, family who will stick by you, get in that hole with you, and not leave until you both decide you're going to crawl the hell out of it. And I don't mean that in a they've got to be depressed too, I just mean that in a it is in a sense they're there, poor you kind of thing, but sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes that's what you need. That's what it is. Like I said, that was one instant that just turned me like that. I've had days where I've woken up like that and it was no one else's fault or anything like that. It could be lack of sleep, that does it to me. It could be anything. Anything is a trigger to put somebody in a bad spiral or a bad way. Could be in your environment, could be just anything. But the best thing to do about it is not clam up about it. Talk to people. Have good people by your side who will sit with you and just kind of go, okay, you're in a bit of a crap mood, but let's talk about it. Why? And if your first answer is I don't know, they are going to be sitting there asking the same question, and you better be prepared for it, because my God, that'll get annoying, but it does help. Because I don't know why I'm in a bad mood half the time. I don't even understand why I'm depressed half the time. But it helps having someone ask it. It helps having someone next to me just going, hey, it's going to be okay. You may not be in the best mood, but you're still up, you're still dressed, you're still moving around. Christine's answer is normally, do you want to go to Costown? But yeah. I think I've rambled on far enough with this. For today, at least. It's never bad to feel bad. Just as long as you get up after it. You never have to feel shame for that little dark voice in your head telling you all these negative things. I've seen pictures, and God bless people who do these pictures, of like this big looming shadow, like picking a person down. Because that's what your brain eventually feels like to yourself. That's the only thing that's going to keep picking at you, just to pull you down. And I hate it. I hate feeling like it. I hate feeling like my own enemy. And I hate feeling like, because I know I'm not the only one that suffered from the feeling of depression or that looming shadow. I know I'm not the only one. But what makes me feel alone most of the time is knowing I'm the only one that deals with that version of it. The one that, oh, it's this problem that's inside your head, this problem that's you caused and it's your fault, and like no one likes you and etc. I'm like, yeah, but I've come to accept that I'm a raging bell end, and well, if someone likes me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. Stuff I won't lose sleep over, but there is other things I will. Just as long as it doesn't prey on my mind, as long as it doesn't put me in a bad spiral, as long as I've got those people next to me. And that's the thing to take away from this piece, this episode, this whatever the hell I call it. Taking away that you have to talk to somebody, or have someone next to you who's willing to sit there and just bait it out. Because I've done it, people have done it for me. That's the best thing about it, effectively. There will always be good friends beside you. There'll be piss take friends and there'll be arsehole friends. And there'll be people who fall out who used to be your friends. But as long as you got a good friend/family alongside you, you'll be fine. And that's what I've got. I've got good friends, I've got a family, I've got a fiance. I've got very close friends who are my brothers. And you're damn straight, over the last month or so, they've picked me up, they've put me together, and they've moved me on from bad things. And I can only hope to do exactly the same for them. I think I've gone around in circles twice now about this. I think. But yeah, that's that's it. That's it for this part, at least. I don't know what the next one's going to be about, whether, who knows. But I am continuing this series. I'm probably doing one a month, like my videos. Seems like something I can do. Just me sitting here talking for half an hour about depression. I do feel like it helps me. Well, it helps anyone else. I can only hope. Anyway, I do hope it helps you. And if it hasn't, well, maybe next part. Maybe there's another one to help you. I'm going to go look out the window because apparently it's snowing. I want to go look at the driving conditions I've got to go in. Merry Christmas to yous. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever the hell. I'll see yous all in the new year. Even though it's January.